49-year-old man from North Carolina is in custody, and the standoff is over, but it's still a very active scene here on and around Capitol Hill as investigators are still working to determine whether there were actually explosives inside that man's vehicle. Now, this all started at about 9:15 this morning. That's when police say Floyd Ray Roseberry allegedly parked his black pickup truck on the sidewalk near the intersection of First Street Southeast and Independence Avenue. When officers approached the vehicle, they say Roseberry told them he had a bomb, and so that set off a massive law enforcement response, plus the evacuation of the Library of Congress and congressional offices, even several neighborhoods near Capitol Hill as negotiations with the suspect continued.
He had advised that he had explosives, and over the course of time we tried to negotiate with Mr. Roseberry. We first started doing that with a whiteboard, just writing messages back and forth. We used a robot to get a telephone down to him, but he would not use the telephone.
Now, that was newly appointed U.S. Capitol Police Chief Tom Manger, now leading his first emergency response situation on Capitol Hill. Chief Manger basically said that shortly after Roseberry refused to use the telephone, he ended up surrendering. He got out of the vehicle and surrendered. At that time, he was taken into custody without incident. That was shortly after 2 o'clock this afternoon. As I mentioned, though, the investigation far from over. They are still working to determine whether there were explosives inside Roseberry's vehicle. That is ongoing as we speak, and the chief said that process could take hours. That's the latest from here on the Hill. We'll send it back to you inside.
A lot still to uncover there. Heather, thank you. And we will get back to you should any news develop or break in the next few minutes, or if there's another police briefing.
Well, now 7 News on your side, Scott Taylor continues our team coverage. And Scott, you spoke to someone who saw this all unfolding at the very beginning. What did they say?
Well, her name is Sydney Bobb. She is from Boston. She goes to the University of Madison, Wisconsin, but she's here taking classes with a bunch of other friends. They were walking down to their classroom, and they were one of the first to come across the suspect when he arrived in the district. You're looking at one of the first pictures taken of Floyd Ray Roseberry as he pulled up on the sidewalk of the Library of Congress. College students were walking to class and noticed him yelling. Sydney Bobb from Boston decided to snap a picture.
And I just see a guy throw ones out of his truck and talking about that, like saying like, I have a bomb.
Roseberry was also capturing it all on Facebook Live, including showing what he claims was a bomb in his truck.
Now, I want to make that clear to the American people. I cannot set this bomb off. I cannot set this bomb off. The only thing that can set this bomb off is enough decimals.
Right now, the Capitol Police, as you can see, have Independence Southeast still shut down with the stop barricades up. Coming up at 6 o'clock, we're going to dive deeper into Roseberry's background, his criminal background, where there isn't a whole lot. But on his Facebook post, he started to Facebook about this incident days ago. We'll talk about that at 6. Scott Taylor, 7 News.
All right, Scott, thank you. And this is new video coming in from Cleveland County, North Carolina. Police are searching 49-year-old Floyd Ray Roseberry's home, the man at the center of today's chaos. We are working to gather information on just what may be there, and we'll let you know what they find.
Over the course of time, we tried to negotiate with Mr. Roseberry. We first started doing that with a whiteboard, just writing messages back and forth. We used a robot to get a telephone down to him, but he would not use the telephone. But shortly after we had delivered the telephone, he got out of the vehicle and surrendered. And the tactical units that were close by took him into custody without incident. So I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Chief, were there any explosives in the vehicle, and do you know a motive?
We don't know if there are any explosives in the vehicle. It's still an active scene. While Mr. Roseberry has been taken into custody and has been removed from the scene, we still have to search the vehicle and render the vehicle safe, so we don't know as of yet. We do know that Mr. Roseberry has had some losses of family. In his, I believe his mother recently passed away, and we spoke with members of his family, and there were other issues that he was dealing with. There'll be more on that before at a later time.
Was he acting law enforcement or military background?
We're not aware of, according to his family, we're not aware of any law enforcement or military background.
But what about the other explosive he talked about?
I can't.
About other four explosives, he said there are other 4 bombs in his video.
Again, it's an active scene that we're trying to render safe in terms of any other explosives. That's still ongoing.
How much longer do you think that will take?
Not that we're aware of.
How much longer do you think it will take to assess the scene?
Hours. It will take hours to assess the scene.
Chief Mager, was this a known figure to the Capitol Police?
No.
Okay. Chief, are you tracking movements before he arrived here at the scene?
All of that is part of what will be a comprehensive investigation. But right now, I just want to report that he is in custody and that that part of it is done.
But we don't know if he made any stops in D.C. before stopping here.
Not at this point, no.
What was his demeanor when he was arrested?
He gave up and did not resist, and our folks were able to take him into custody without incident.
How did you guys convince him to surrender peacefully? What did you say that got him out of the car?
We had been in communication with him, but when we delivered the phone, there were no conversations via phone. As far as we could tell, it was just his decision to surrender at that point.
Was he acting alone?
Right now, we have no indication that he was acting with anyone else, but that, again, is part of the ongoing investigation.
Do you know what he's being charged with?
At this point, we'll work with the U.S. Attorney in terms of getting all the charges together. The little bit of criminal history that we were able to determine was in the state of North Carolina, and it was nothing that serious. But we just, this is what we've been able to find preliminarily.
Can you tell us what you've seen in and around the car? Anything else? Any other contents that you guys have been able to have visual fidelity?
So we had information and evidence of what was in the bed of his truck, and there were some things that were concerning, but ultimately we were able to take him in custody without incident. But there were certain things that we saw in the truck, for instance, a propane gas container, but obviously that was not. At this point, we think that's safe.
Chief Major, can you just clarify, can you clarify the suspect's name?
I have
spelling of the name.
Floyd Ray Roseberry, Roseberry.
Roy with an O or Ray with
That's
an A?
that.
We're going to be pushing out a news release with all the
I'm reading someone else's handwriting, so I don't know.
Chief, where is he right now? Is there a mental evaluation?
He's in our custody right now.
But exactly, where is he going to the hospital? Is there a mental evaluation?
The first thing is going to be criminal charges that are placed, and then anything there be any number of outcomes once he goes before a judge.
But he's in federal custody on this property, or like where is he?
Well, he was just taken into custody moments ago, so I'm not sure if he's still there, if he's been taken. He's been moved away from the scene. All right, thank you all very much. Appreciate it.
Will this change your security